chanting "We are green," and Palou sweeps in front of Malukas, who defends his position, and McLaughlin immediately up and into third place as we go 3 wide immediately through turn 1.
3 wide in the middle, I think 4 wide in the back as Malukas tries to get it done on the outside for the lead.
Look at Connor Daly there in the purple car, 3 wide at the back and going big once again, and Connor Daly makes it work.
Oh, big one!
Crash.
Big one at the back, and that is Nolan Siegel into the wall.
Looks like Nolan's the only car caught up in it, at least the only car that stopped. Might be damage on another machine.
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry.
Sounds like maybe he just lost it on his own there, Townsend.
Yeah, a lot of dirty air when you're that far back. Big wings front and rear to pack your car to the ground with downforce. You see Nolan Siegel down low on the patch, and there's not a lot of grip. And James, I think he just clipped the left front on the apron.
I think he got that curb. I think he got that yellow curbing down on the inside.
Let's take a look from the onboard. Watch the left front here.
Yeah. Oh, no. I think a little clip, tiny. I mean, he's not all the way over it, but a little bit onto that yellow.
I will say that that low is not the normal racing line. So all weekend with practice and qualifying, there's just not rubber laid down there. So Nolan going into uncharted territory on lap 1, and he will regret it.
And we race. And take a look at Will Power. Tucked up underneath his teammate as Kirkwood goes to put the move on Daly, but Daly says, not right now. And that will give O'Ward a chance, but we have a caution. We have yellows out. And I cannot see why.
We saw 3 wide further back in the field. Scott Dixon down there on the bottom. Oh, is that a puff of smoke out of Dixon's car? And then this, a spin. An almost spin from Graham Rahal. What a save.
Let's watch this onboard here. Nose cam. Wow.
That is a terrible feeling from inside the car. You just get that feeling in the pit of your stomach like, no, I'm going around. And for him to be able to save that, he locks the front brakes. The rear tires are still going, though. It kind of helps keep the momentum going forward.
Graham Rahal did the best thing you can do with your feet in that moment, which is when in doubt, both feet out. Stay off the throttle, stay off the brake, and just steer it out.
Green flag waves. Palou punches it, and Malukas goes with him. Malukas to the high line. Has momentum, but Palou has the line. But on exit, Malukas keeps it stuck in and takes the lead. Wonderful move from Little Dave.
Yeah, that second lane's kind of the preferred one. So by getting that great run off of 4, Malukas forced Palou to be a little bit lower down, a little bit tighter than he wanted to, and just carried that momentum around the outside of 2, pulled the pass off down the back straight. That was brilliant driving from Malukas.
Not the first time we've seen that from him this year. Malukas knows what it is, knows how to handle leading on a short oval.
No Power there, and Kyle Kirkwood going at it. Power going forward ahead of Kirkwood. That'll put Power up to P6, I believe, right now, as we get a look at Santino Ferrucci charging from the back, already up a bunch of spots. Ferrucci started all the way down in 21st, now runs 18th.
Lundgaard up on the inside of Christian Rasmussen, as he has been for pretty much an entire lap now in the McLaren. Hasn't had the best of it on ovals this year. And it'll be the start of a second lap side by side with Rasmussen, who refuses to let the position go. Lundgaard forcing the issue and forcing his way through.
Rasmussen down a few spots from his starting position. He was 9th off the grid. Running right now, down in 11th, trying to get around Lundgaard back into the top 10, right behind his teammate Rossi.
And that's the benefit of just kind of sticking your car to the outside at corner exit, is it really forces the driver to the inside to make a decision. Do you lift or do you really press the issue?
David Malukas is leading this race with someone different in his ear, running strategy today than he is used to. James Schnabel, his engineer, and also his strategist, Palou is going to come through. Lead change. We'll revisit this in a moment.
Nicely done, Kevin. Palou does indeed take advantage of that. and moves back into the lead of this race. Malukas dropping back.
And I think Alex Palou demonstrating exactly what you just said, James, is that his car appears to be better in the dirty air. His technique appears to be better as he approaches the back of Graham Rahal, running in 25th. And you might have noticed during the break, Alexander Rossi opting to duck in right around lap 49. So Rossi committing most likely to a 4-stop strategy. Meanwhile, Alex Palou is going to try to hang out until around lap 63, maybe 65 because of the caution, and make it on 3 stops.
Lundgaard in as well for McLaren, so he committing to that 4-stop strategy. Kiffin Simpson, who came in early for that splash and dash, he's in early as well. So to Devlin DiFrancesco and Marcus Armstrong, I'm seeing coming into the pit lane as well. All these guys then reacting to what Alexander Rossi has done.
James, you weren't kidding. Palou has put almost 3 seconds on David Malukas. Look at McLaughlin, the first Penske driver, as Marcus Armstrong makes his stop, and now the first Penske driver will power to pit lane.
That's going to be interesting to see how the likes of O'Ward, Daly, McLaughlin, those drivers ahead, react to this.
So what this does right now is it's going to put the drivers like Will Power a lap down, but on much fresher tires, going much faster, able to cut around traffic. Can you get some work done? We see Scott McLaughlin coming into the pit lane
and O'Ward
as well.
And Herter.
Guys, this is
Dixon.
I don't think this is a 3-stopper.
I don't think so.
Everyone seems to be abandoning
Georgia.
For this pit stop, Scott McLaughlin said he was a little loose on exit. They're going to go for those sticker tires and fill it up with fuel. It was a quick stop.
Oh, and Dixon almost into McLaughlin on pit lane.
Will that be reviewed as an unsafe release for the number 3, Pato O'Ward, down and away from that first pit stall?
What you're seeing in the top screen there is Stingray Robb, who pitted for fresh tires, trying to unlap himself. Jack.
Well, I'm down in the 76 for Connor Daly. He's already done his stop. He is so good at those restarts, Townsend. He's just electrifying to watch.
Now I'm keeping my eye out for where everybody has cycled out, and Will Power has managed to get himself ahead of Pato O'Ward on track. Got Stingray Robb in between them, so that's worked out brilliantly for Will Power. The new tires, the grippy, faster tires, making an immediate impact for those who came in first.
So where does Connor Daly come out relative to those that pitted earlier for fresher tires?
I'll tell you what they've been doing, guys, is they've been watching Alexander Rossi. And if you look, he's right now behind Scott McLaughlin, so it's worked out well for him as the leader is in, Kev.
Oh, numerically, they have a chance at doing it on 2 more stops. But remember how much caution there was as the top 2 come in, and they are pitted right next to each other. Alex Palou will have to weave out after getting Shell 100% renewable fuel and Firestones, and then David Malukas will follow him from AJ Foyt Racing.
That's pretty interesting because Alex Palou, I think, pitted in no man's zone. I think he's now on a 4-stopper because the pace was falling off so much. Where does he come out, Will?
Well, here comes Palou, and here comes McLaughlin onto the backstretch. McLaughlin will have his tires up to temperature, will have the pace advantage, and will be hunting down Palou into 3 and into 4. 1 car in between them, and here comes McLaughlin.
Louis Foster leading the race right now. The rookie for RLL hasn't pit yet as we go on board the Sancio vehicle protection machine of Scott McLaughlin, who is trying so hard to use those hot tires to his advantage.
And incredibly, once Foster takes his stop, Alexander Rossi has managed to move up so many positions that he will be in a very real 4th place. Brilliant strategy from ECR.
And that's what I was saying, guys, is he was able to get those new tires working. Other drivers, other teams, other strategists saw that pace advantage he had and said, we got to pit now, or Rossi's going to be leading this thing before too long.
There's your race leader. Palou leads from McLaughlin. Malukas now 3rd, Rossi 4th. And let's have a little replay here. Here comes Scott Dixon, has to check up, has to stop as McLaughlin gets released. This is under review. So the man who now sits 2nd, Scott McLaughlin, could face a penalty for an unsafe release. This, the view from Scott Dixon. Wow, I mean, it looks almost unquestionable from that angle.
It does, but we've seen before that if there's no contact, often race control will try to stay out of it. So I'm not sure what we're going to see on that one. Definitely on the edge. Scott McLaughlin lucky to get away. Scott Dixon lucky to get away without contact.
O'Ward still looking at the rear wing. of Will Power. We ride on board with Scott McLaughlin. Ahead of us is Graham Rahal, looking to go a lap down. But Scott McLaughlin's mirrors are full of the AJ Foyt racing car of David Malukas, who has a great run off the final corner.
Malukas has looked so strong on fresh tires. This is his advantage, I think, to drivers like McLaughlin and Palou. But Malukas will know that based on the first stint, after about 20 laps, he starts to suffer a bit. I wonder if they made some adjustments on pit lane, but Malukas might have a chance here as they round through 3 and 4 and come to the front straight.
Wextrup on board of Rahal, looking back at this battle for second and third place.
And it is now a genuine battle. There will be no action, no penalty for Scott McLaughlin. That second place is legitimate as it stands. But I gotta say, guys, for those drivers who took the risk and rolled the dice and came in early, it has worked out perfectly. Rossi up to 4th, Lundgaard up to 7th, and the drivers who waited late, like O'Connor Daly, look at that, P4 dropping all the way down to P8.
David Malukas was pressing on those fresh tires and almost got into the fence at the exit of turn 2. Watch this replay. This was that's so close.
That dirty air we were talking about, a bunch of percentage points of downforce gone, and that car just sliding up to the wall.
The dirty air put Malukas high and into the dirt, literally.
Alex Palou leading by 4.2 seconds now from David Malukas, but having to make, from Scott McLaughlin, my apologies, but having to make his way back through traffic, trying to put a couple of cars 2 laps down, and now O'Ward and Power jump to pit lane to try to force the issue and take everyone back to stops. Kevin.
We've got our answer on strategy from these two. To do it on 4 stops, you need to average 50 laps per stint, and they're right on that. And they had a lot of caution. Power down, a little further up pit lane towards pit out. Potter O'Ward is also out, so the tire wear is high today.
Alexander Rossi is in, Lundgaard is in. We've got one of the Premers in as well. And as we learned from the first stops, the earlier you stop, the greater your advantage compared to all of your rivals.
I'm a little surprised that Alex Palou's hanging out here in lap traffic as Alexander Rossi just finished, Kev.
Another good day for Rossi as we also see Christian Lundgaard coming into this point. Rossi had his best finish at Portland a couple of weeks ago and legit running in the top 5, 4th today before these stops.
Not a great stop there from Lundgaard. Rossi, he pit earlier, so he had to have a slightly longer stop, a little more fuel going in that car, but 6 seconds for Power and O'Ward. That shows you that that wasn't a full fill because these guys were pitting off of tires, not off of fuel.
McLaughlin and Malukas from 2nd and 3rd come into pit lane. Once again, Palou will be the last of the leaders to pit. Georgia.
Scott McLaughlin said he was struggling to get off the corner during that stint. Fresh tires and fuel for McLaughlin. Kevin.
David Malukas is coming in. We'll see Alex Palou in just a moment. For Malukas, solid stop for the AJ Foyt Racing team, but it's taking time. They've got a problem and losing all kinds of precious time, and the car is back up on the jacks as Palou comes down. And a yellow is come out.
Oh, and that's Will Power. Will Power is off and on track, and wouldn't you know it, the luck for Alex Palou shows no sign of disappearing. Made it in just in time before that yellow flag. But David Malukas now will lose a lap to the leader as Palou gets out ahead of him.
You can see that Will Power's right sides show evidence of getting into the wall. I don't know if there would be suspension damage there, but Palou and Malukas should be sitting pretty here. We'll have to see how everything blends out.
Hectic sequence, guys. That was crazy timing for a caution. And Power, you can see the frustration there. Let's just see. Trying to go around Kiffin Simpson, gets up, a little high, hits those marbles. You see the second he gets into those marbles, pretty hard into the wall in turn 2.
Not that bad, but I wonder why his car came to a stop.
Oh, he's lost power. Yeah, he's lost drive, not able to get into pit lane.
So potentially had a gearbox issue.
No,
there.
he did it again. He tried to go into turn 3.
Broke the toe link probably on the initial contact.
Well, as all of that was happening, all of this was happening, David Malukas, problem on the front right with the wheel gun.
Yeah, gun failure, had to go to the backup. Car sitting there, looking like it's ready, but it's not. Quick work there from the outside front tire changer to get that backup gun, get the tire changed, but worst case scenario, Palou came in just in time, like you said, before that yellow came out, and it's trapped Malukas a lap down.
Back to green through the final corner. Malukas will go with him. And Malukas will try to get that lap back and go back past him, but with the form that Alex Palou has been in today, it's going to be tough as we get back to racing ways, and McLaughlin finds himself under pressure from Pato O'Ward immediately.
Track sweepers have been busy, so the high line is clean now, and drivers are taking advantage. Look at Alexander Rossi 3 wide.
It's a Prema in the middle, and on the bottom is Christian Lundgaard. Lundgaard, who finds himself up in 4th place, but now 5th as Rossi makes his way past.
Rossi using the Prema machine as a bit of a blocker, but now Lundgaard down on the inside, making it stick on the number 20. But no, Rossi rolling that speed on the outside. He's going to have a bit of a draft. O'Ward trying to get around Louis Foster side by side, not an inch between them, guys.
Lundgaard keeping that position, and what a brilliant run, what a brilliant strategy from McLaren to get him up from 17th on the grid, up and fighting for the podium places. Now, here comes Josef Newgarden, who was having a pretty difficult day up to this point. He makes the move, and he's going to move up to 5th. A brilliant, brilliant job from Josef Newgarden.
Newgarden starting to find his feet. That's what we've come to expect out of Josef Newgarden on short ovals, and he is not done. Outside of Lundgaard in turn 4. Bold, decisive, and effective.
Magnificent.
Great pictures courtesy of Snap-on as we see him fall back in line ahead of Lundgaard. And here's the thing, this guy knows what he needs out of his race car on a short oval. Throughout these pit stops, he'll be making changes from the team, tire pressure, wing adjustments, and now this thing is really coming into its window as he tries to attack Pato O'Ward now and move himself into the top 3.
Not hanging about, and O'Ward will have to get past Louis Foster and try and put the lap on the rookie, because he knows all too well the driver that now fills his mirrors. They fought for honors at the Indianapolis 500, and Josef Newgarden is gunning for Pato O'Ward once again. I'm hearing that Will Power's day is over, and here comes Newgarden. Little wiggle on exit, has a good exit, has the inside line, and now Newgarden has a podium place. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant from the Penske driver.
Not a huge defense there from O'Ward. It almost seemed like an inevitability. Jack Newgarden is on fire right now.
He is, and his engineer Luke Mason told me earlier that there really wasn't anything wrong. It was just this dirty air. Josef was stuck in the part of the track that he was. They were trying to just massage the car a little bit through some of these pit stops, and I gotta say, James, he is absolutely flying now.
Jack, you asked Josef Newgarden before this race started, what is it you're hearing about Thor's hammer? Josef Newgarden is laying down the hammer, keeping the hammer down and pressing on. Next for him will be Louis Foster to put him a lap down, and then he will go after his teammate Scott McLaughlin, and then he will attempt to go after Alex Palou. Newgarden, who has looked so deeply impressive every time we visited an oval this year, but has taken nothing away from it in a season littered with disappointment. Can this be his day? Can he put on a show and make something special in this penultimate race of 2025?
Eyes on Rasmussen there, who had to start this restart from the back of the lead lap cars after getting caught for speeding on pit lane. Restarted in 16th, has got himself up to 11th now, so he continues to gain spots, +5 since we went green just a few laps ago. So trying to claw back all that time, all that track position lost from a speeding penalty.
Sitting on board with Rasmussen, currently sitting 11th on track. It's Kyle Kirkwood ahead of us. Oh, that's a lovely exit. That's a lovely exit. Gets very, very close to the Andretti driver, but will have the momentum that will see him attempt the pass. Not just attempt the pass, hope to make the pass, but Kirkwood, who has won on an oval already this year, keeps that position. But for how long? Rasmussen, wonderful stuff again.
Oh, Rasmussen looking really squirrely to the inside there. He had to gather up his race car. Scary stuff if you're Kyle Kirkwood, saying, hang on, young man, don't take me out.
Kirkwood clears him, is going to come down, try to take a little bit of that air off the front wing, and a huge moment for Rasmussen. Siemens on board giving the great shots of Raz catching that thing. That was close.
Somehow holds it together. And again, another twitch from Rasmussen. We ride on board with him now.
Guys, as impressive as that defense is from Kyle Kirkwood, I'm looking at the timing and scoring pylon here. His teammate, Colton Hurt, is up into 7th. But let's take a look at what happened here on board. Oh, wow. See his right hand coming off the wheel as he catches it.
I mean, a one-hander on the oval, that's sideways. Scott Dixon's back there probably just giggling like this guy is a handful.
The Prema of Callum Ilott gets taken away from pit lane, which he just entered, a little bit on fire, smoke pouring from the back of the Italian car.
You see how right there, out of the left bank of the engine. And so the caution comes out because you just don't know if there's oil on the racetrack. You can't take that risk. Heads up call from race control. This is on board Kyle Kirkwood. And yeah, pop. And that's the last thing you want to see. You even see a little bit of the debris. You see that residue on the lens.
That's all
of
oil.
Kirkwood. So immediately got to back these things down. Pit lane was closed just to make sure that there was no residual oil or water on the pit in there. So,
but critically for the field, lap 145, so right into the early window to make their third stop. So I expect just about everybody will be coming to pit lane this chance.
See a lot of teams set up. I think it's going to be busy, and this could be a really, really important race off pit lane.
Oh, and Palou jumps in, and Jack, what have you got? Everyone's in. Palou, McLaughlin, Newgarden jumps into his pit stand. We wait for the two McLarens to jump into theirs. Colton Herter is into his spot. How's Palou stop versus Newgarden? It's a nice, oh, it's a little slow getaway from Josef Newgarden. McLaughlin, does he get away ahead of his teammate? He does, and McLaughlin gets away side by side with Alex Palou, and Palou just narrowly hangs on to the lead. And Armstrong does take us back to racing, and immediately the two McLarens go side by side down into turn one.
Paddle Ward on the inside. He's going to get that position. Power going way high. Look at Armstrong.
Oh, Armstrong's
like
got
a rock.
Nothing. No pace, and here come the ECRs.
So important for the spotters right now to give the trailing drivers a heads up about how slow Armstrong is going to be so that you don't get tripped up. Connor Daly in that purple car doing what he does best, going high and looking handsome.
Whoa, so close to the back of Kyle Kirkwood ahead of him. Now Daly tucks to the inside of the Andretti driver. Brilliant stuff from Connor Daly, but look at Armstrong. He's just hanging on.
It's what we were just talking about, guys. It's the worst position of being as a driver, hanging on for dear life. He found himself in the middle of 3 wide for 4 consecutive corners, 2 straight laps, just falling like a rock, all the way down to 14th in 2 laps.
Palou unleashed again. McLaughlin, though, within 0.6 seconds of him. Josef Newgarden slots into 3rd place. Ward is 4th. Dennis Rossi, Herter, Daly, Kirkwood, Lundgaard, Rasmussen is your top 10. And Armstrong continues to drop. The most bizarre strategic choice.
I mean, Armstrong's going to be on the radio saying, what are we doing? He will never do this again, I wouldn't think, because he still has to make 2 stops to get to the end. Everybody else should be good with 1 more stop. Georgia, we're confused. What do you know on pit lane about the 66?
Well, I just asked Mike Shank, why did you guys make the decision to stay out? And he looked at me and he said, we were just trying something.
Eh?
I don't know what to say.
Sorry, I think is what you're going to have to say to your driver at the end of that one. That was a huge flop. Just really struggling to understand the mindset there.
I mean, just watch Marcus Armstrong on this restart. Palou's like, yeah, see ya. And then here comes everybody, freight train mode. Guys, Marcus Armstrong's going to be dead last in a couple laps.
One thing to also keep an eye on is it has been the sunshine. It's sprinkling right now. It's okay because the track is so warm, but keep an eye on this. There's a very light sprinkle we're feeling.
Of rain?
Yeah, look.
Of rain.
Raindrops on our window here in the booth as the caution comes out.
Yellow
for raindrops. Yellow and red flag is out. The striped flag, that means a greasy surface. Yellow for the full caution.
Green, green, green.
Lays down the hammer, smashes the throttle, and gets this thing back to green. Keep your eye on the orange and black McLarens. Keep your eyes on the ECR cars. And you know what? Already, it's advantage Alexander Rossi. Rossi, who absolutely screams up and on the inside. Palou's had a horrible restart. Rossi's had an absolute blinder.
Rossi already side by side with Newgarden, trying to make the pass for third going into turn 3. Side by side further back. Palou enjoying that advantage of lap cars in between them. But these cars with fresh tires, Townsend, they are coming.
And here comes O'Ward, here comes Rasmussen on the inside of Stingray Rob.
So much action there with the Freshie crew as Newgarden now trying to hang to the high side of Kiffin Simpson. It is crazy right in this section.
Finally makes his way past the Ganassi driver, and Rossi will try to do the same, and here comes his teammate Rasmussen, who gets past Pato O'Ward. It's an ECR 4-5 at the moment. The advantage lies with the ECR team.
Kiffin Simpson making life difficult for all these lead lap cars. Pat O'Ward going to try to get around him on the outside.
Nice move from O'Ward. He'll have a big run on Rossi down the backstretch.
And he does, and he takes it now. Has a look at the inside, but Rossi still gunning for Josef Newgarden ahead. And here comes Rasmussen. Rasmussen around the outside of O'Ward. It's now ECR 4-5. Rossi looking at the back of Newgarden. Rasmussen looking at the back of Rossi. And the McLarens have dropped from their advantageous position. And it is advantage ECR, and here comes Rasmussen.
Rasmussen with some help from the draft off of Newgarden, but this guy Rasmussen has been on fire the last 3 laps.
Ed Carpenter, the owner of both these machines, looking on nervously, anxiously, but also happy to see them running up front.
And there is Newgarden. Rasmussen will not be contained. Rasmussen will not be held back. Rasmussen going for Josef Newgarden around the outside. Vanishing point ahead, up and on the inside now of Newgarden. Oh, Rasmussen is doing a blinding job. Stunning.
He just dumped the king of the short ovals. Josef Newgarden now gets passed by Rossi, but Rasmussen.
Oh! They've touched, and I don't know if that means that he's got, and yeah, I think something's broken on the front right for Newgarden. A big hit.
An amazing save, though. How many of those have we seen this weekend at Milwaukee? As O'Ward now takes a look on the inside of Newgarden. He'll get that pass done.
Lundgaard gets past, so the McLarens both get past Newgarden. Perhaps he can nurse that thing back to the finish. But for Rasmussen, 2 drivers now stand between him and an unexpected victory here at the Milwaukee Mile. Palou leads by 1.6 seconds over McLaughlin. Rasmussen is third. Here comes Malukas having a look at Dixon. Both of them will have a look ahead of them at Newgarden, but we ride on board with Christian Rasmussen, and that is Scott McLaughlin. He's on the limiter.
He's geared too short for that draft.
Doesn't matter. Around the outside and another position.
Let's go.
That is second. Let's go is the call. Let's go after Alex Palou and take this victory. Rasmussen's on fire.
You've got to love Packy Wheeler, the spotter, saying, hey, it's going to be all about timing. Rasmussen's like, whatever, dude.
And now there's no one between them. That's the number down there you want to look at. 1.7 seconds and falling with 20 laps to go.
For the very first time in this championship, he's right with him. He's going to have to go the long way around. Rasmussen keeps it stuck in. Rasmussen is gutsy. Rasmussen is brave. Palou hangs on. They run high. And Rasmussen has the lead.
Holy cow, what a pass.
Magnificent. Utterly spellbinding.
That was one of the gutsiest moves I've seen since Josef Newgarden went to the high side to win the Indy 500. That was impressive.
Coming into this weekend, there was a feeling that we could have a first-time winner. And it's going to be one of the most electrifying drivers that we have in the NTT INDYCAR Series. He's a USF 2000 champion. He's an Indy Pro 2000 champion, an Indy Next champion. And with 1 corner to go, Christian Rasmussen is now an IndyCar race winner. Sensational. Bravo. Bravo.
So many drivers have been talking about your style, saying it won't last. What do you have to say about that, and how did you get to the front?
Well, our ovals has been pretty good this year, so if it doesn't last, I don't know. But no, today was amazing. We were talking about before the race that if there's a late caution, then we want to go on new tires because it's just such an advantage. So there was more people that did it than I thought there would the last stint, but it was definitely the right choice. I mean, we were so good on new tires, even compared to other cars on new tires. So, wow. that's a good day. It's a good Sunday.
And the celebration is on now for Ed Carpenter Racing.
Up next, it's the Porchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix, Sunday, August 31st at 2 p.m. Eastern on Fox.